chasing shadows in the darkest maze. Footsteps echo in the empty hall. Mysteries waiting on our call. Bigfoot stomping through the pines. Aliens sending secret signs. EVPs in the dead of night. Ghosts dancing in the pale moonlight. Paranormal 411, we bring it to ya. Truth behind the veil, gotta pursue ya.
Hey, everybody.
All right.
It's Thursday show.
Thursday, we got a good show.
We do. Jason put together a great show.
We're going to be doing some storytelling tonight.
Yeah, we got 5 different stories. And they all have to do with Knoxville, Tennessee and some of the haunted lore.
Oh, yeah.
Some haunted stories.
Hey, Paranormal 411's an awesome on Rumble.
Yes.
We do want to thank everybody for showing up to this little show. It's one of our short shows, and we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, we got a good guest coming on this Saturday, don't we?
Yes, we have Paul from
Paranormal Among Us.
Paranormal Among Us. He's going to be
Yeah.
talking with us and sharing some stories, and
He's going to be kind of fresh back almost from
Hawaii. Yeah, Hawaii, man. How do you get to Hawaii?
He's going to have to tell us how that was, you know?
Yeah, he must be doing real well.
Hmm.
No,
Yes.
I think his son was playing in a band, high school band, and they played on the USS Missouri
Awesome.
at Pearl Harbor.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I bet you he was stoked to be able to do that.
So you're gonna have to look at my bald head tonight. I forgot my hat.
Me too. I forgot my hat.
See, look at it, smooth. Just
Nice
need to
and
get a
shiny.
tan.
My wife says I'm starting to get dark.
Yeah, I'm starting to get yellow.
You ain't jaundiced yet.
So Dave is going to kick us off with these 5 ghostly stories of Knoxville. And the first one, I'll let him tell you.
Oh, yes. So the first story is the strange experiment of Dr. Stephen Foster. Knoxville, Tennessee, 1829. It was a quiet town, especially after dark. But one night, a strange event unfolded that would become chilling local legend. Now, Dr. Stephen Foster was a smart and unusual professor at East Tennessee University. He was a minister, a language teacher, and a man who loved science. He had studied at Dartmouth and was fascinated by new ideas, especially a new book called Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, which was about bringing the dead back to life. Now, earlier that day, 2 men had been publicly executed. Stories say that Dr. Foster, with help, got the body of one of the men, a man named James White. Under the cover of night, he secretly moved the body to the Second Presbyterian Church. Inside the church, which was usually a peaceful place, Dr. Foster had set up a strange lab. He put the body on a table and had a special battery, a galvanic cell. It was made of zinc and copper, which could create electricity. Someone, a witness whose name we do not know, looked through a window into the church. They saw Dr. Foster preparing for his experiment. With a deep breath, Dr. Foster connected the wires from his battery to the dead body. There was a crackling sound. And then something unbelievable happened. The witness gasped. As the body on the table moved, it took a shallow breath and then another, and then another. It breathed once, twice, 3 times. The terrified witness would later say it was as if life for a moment had returned. But for Dr. Foster, he was shocked and scared by what he saw. He had not quite expected this. He quickly pulled the wires away, stopping the electricity, and the body went still again. Now, what happened to the body after that is a mystery. Dr. Foster went back to his life as a professor, but the experiment surely stayed with him. He died young at the age of 36 in 1835. On his gravestone it says, "Mysterious are thy ways, O Lord." And many people believe that this is a hint about his strange experiment. The story of Dr. Stephen Foster and his Frankenstein experiment is still told in Knoxville. It is a spooky tale that mixes old science with local legends. And it continues to be part of the town's history and its ghost stories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So show's going to be a little theatrical. Okay?
Just a little.
Just a little bit theatrical. Just bear with us. We're trying to make it, something nice to listen to.
Little entertaining.
I hope you like those sound effects.
Yeah.
So that was just the first story. Now I get to do the second story, and this is a good story too.
It is. It's about the Andrew Johnson building.
Yes, in Knoxville, the Andrew Johnson building. So the Andrew Johnson building, towering over downtown Knoxville, it's just not an old landmark. It's a place where history lingers. And some say that ghosts still roam in its grand halls. Once it was the magnificent Andrew Johnson Hotel, a hub of activity and luxury. So this impressive building opened its doors in 1929 and quickly became the jewel of Knoxville. For nearly 50 years, it stood as the city's tallest structure, hosting famous people, important meetings, and countless celebrations in its beautiful ballrooms. From movie stars to politicians, many notable figures walked its polished floors. But of all the famous guests, there's only one that stands out.
What's up, Stephen?
What's up, Stephen? And his story is the most famous ghost tale connected to the building. It's country music legend Hank Williams Sr. So his tragic visit to the hotel in late 1952 has woven his spirit into the very fabric of the place. So it was New Year's Eve, 1952, and Hank was on his way to a concert in Ohio. But he was very sick, so he checked into the Andrew Johnson Hotel here in Knoxville. While there, a doctor gave him injections of medicine to help him feel better. But the official story is that Hank died in his car a few hours after leaving the hotel. But many people in Knoxville believe he actually passed in his hotel room at the Andrew Johnson. They think his body was then moved from the hotel to the car to avoid a scandal. So this belief fuels the most famous ghost story. People have reported seeing a man who looks just like Hank Williams in the hotel's hallways. He's often described as wearing a white suit and a cowboy hat with a pale, tired face. One common tale describes someone stepping into an elevator and seeing this mysterious man inside. But then, as the elevator doors open, the man vanishes into thin air. Many are convinced this is the restless spirit of Hank, forever tied to his last known stop. But beyond Hank Williams, other strange things have been reported in the Andrew Johnson building. People have heard footsteps echoing in the empty hallways, especially near the grand marble staircase that once led to the ballroom. Sometimes unexplained whispers or faint sounds of music are heard, like echoes from the many parties and events that filled the hotel in its glory days. There have even been stories of objects moving on their own or falling from the shelves without any explanation. Whether it's the lingering presence of a music legend or the echoes of a busy past, the Andrew Johnson building continues to fascinate. Its long and rich history, combined with the tragic story of Hank Williams, makes it one of Knoxville's most talked about and supposedly most haunted locations. It's a place where the past truly feels alive. Hey, it was a good story.
Yes.
Stephen, oh, I'm excited for this episode. My favorite artist, Hank Williams.
Yeah. We're just talking about a whole bunch of different places. So
I hope you like the theatrics. It's fun to do.
yeah. A long time ago we did a whole beginning to one of our shows like that.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, we did.
It was fun.
That was the Halloween show.
Yeah. That Halloween special.
We had a Wendigo after us.
Yeah,
you remember that?
We had to run. Had to get in the bunker,
yeah.
really quick. Oh, so this next story is the Gay Street Ghost and the Great Fire of 1897.
We hope you like the music too.
Yes. The year was 1897, and Knoxville's Gay Street was the bustling heart of the city. Horse-drawn carriages clattered down cobblestones. Shopkeepers hawked their wares, and the air was alive with conversation and laughter. Now, amidst this vibrant scene, an old woman named Agnes lived a quiet life above a small dry goods store. She was known for her kind eyes and her love for the street. She rarely ventured far from its familiar sights and sounds. Agnes had seen many seasons come and go on Gay Street. She knew every shop owner, every delivery route, and the changing rhythms of daily life. Her little apartment was a cozy nest filled with cherished trinkets and the scent of lavender. She would often sit by her window, watching the world pass by, feeling a deep connection with the street below her. But fate had a cruel surprise in store for Gay Street and its beloved residents. One chilly evening on April 8th, 1897, a small spark ignited into a terrifying blaze. The Great Fire of Knoxville began to rage, quickly spreading through the closely packed buildings. Fueled by wooden structures and a strong wind, panic swept through the streets as people scrambled to save what they could. Agnes, frail and elderly, found herself trapped. The flames climbed rapidly, consuming her building. Smoke filled her lungs and fear gripped her heart. Now, despite the frantic shouts of neighbors trying to help, the fire advanced too swiftly. Agnes tragically perished in the inferno that devoured her beloved home and a significant portion of Gay Street. The fire left a trail of devastation. Buildings were reduced to rubble, businesses were ruined, and lives were irrevocably changed. As the smoke cleared and the rebuilding began, a strange phenomenon started to occur on Gay Street. People reported seeing Agnes. She wasn't seen in a frightening way, like a typical ghost. Instead, her apparition was often described as a faint, shimmering figure, usually near where her dry goods store once stood. Sometimes she would appear to be looking into the windows of the newly rebuilt shops, a wistful expression on her ethereal face. Shop owners and the late night strollers would tell stories of fleeting glimpses and a soft glow in the dark alley. A shadow that moved when no one was there, or a gentle whisper of a name on the wind. It was as if Agnes, even in death, couldn't bear to leave the street she so deeply loved in life. Now, some say she was checking on her old neighborhood, ensuring that Gay Street was returning to its vibrant self. Others believed that she was simply walking her familiar paths, unable to break away from the routine she had cherished. Her presence became a comforting rather than terrifying reminder of the past. Over the years, as Gay Street continued to thrive and evolve, the stories of Agnes, the Gay Street ghost, has become part of its charm. She became a symbol of the street's enduring spirit, a gentle guardian watching over the bustling activity that replaced the ashes of the fire. Even today, if you walk down Gay Street on a quiet evening, some locals might tell you to keep an eye out. You just might catch a glimpse of a faint shimmering figure, a gentle echo from the past. Agnes, the endearing spirit of Gay Street, still watching over her beloved home.
So that's Agnes.
That was Agnes.
I
Yes.
think one of these stories that has another Agnes in it, or Black Angie, or something like that. Can't remember which one. But that's also a good story.
Yes. Yeah.
And these are some that a lot of people haven't heard of.
Yeah, it's funny because I've not really heard of any of them.
Yeah.
Zero. Zip, zilch, nada.
Now,
None.
this next one, I know a lot of people may have not heard of it. It's kind of a cryptid tale.
Yeah. In Middlebrook.
Yeah, Middlebrook Pike.
Been
That's hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah.
I think it's, that's not too far from here.
Nope. None of this really is.
Oh,
Gay
no.
Street or any of that, really. I mean,
So, keep talking in the chat room. We'll still be
yes, please.
listening. So this next story is the legend of the Middlebrook Beast. Now, in the late 1800s, Middlebrook Pike was a quiet, dusty road on the western edge of Knoxville. Beyond the city limits, it wound through farms and dense woods. For the folks living there, life was usually peaceful, marked by the seasons and the rhythm of the farm work. But in the summer of 1894, an unsettling mystery began. It plagued the community. It started with whispers, then grew into concerned chatter. Heads of slaughtered cows were disappearing from slaughtering pens along Middlebrook Pike. Could you imagine
Michelle says she's never heard of any of these.
taking the head, just the head of the cow?
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. And it wasn't just a few. It was happening often enough to make farmers very uneasy. So the first rumors blamed a panther, a large wild cat prowling the outskirts of West Knoxville. But soon the stories would grow far stranger. As the days grew shorter and the woods deepened with shadows, more peculiar sightings began. Hunters, usually fearless, who knew the forest like the back of their hands, reported seeing something truly terrifying. It was a pale figure lurking in the dense trees just off the road. Now, descriptions of the beast varied, but a few details were consistent. It was a large white animal, much bigger than any dog they had ever seen. Some swore it was at least 8 feet long.
That's pretty long.
Yeah. But what truly chilled them was its head. A different sort of head, they say. Unsettling, unlike any known creature. Seasoned hunters who had faced bears and bobcats without a flinch now ran for their lives. One man, trembling with fear, claimed the creature chased him for a full mile before he managed to burst through his front door. Slamming it shut behind him, the beast appeared and disappeared so suddenly, so silently, that many began to believe it wasn't an animal at all. It had to be a ghost. Even the local newspaper, the Knoxville Tribune, they weighed in, though cautiously, that there is something, they wrote. There is no mistake. The mystery depends when a local man named, no, the mystery deepens when a local man named Mr. Day offered a huge reward, a horse and buggy to anyone who could capture this elusive creature. So this naturally drew curious sightseers and amateur ghost hunters to Middlebrook Pike, armed with pistols and shotguns.
I think that's going to help on a ghost.
So one night, a brave, or maybe foolish man named Sam Mays spotted the beast and fired directly at it. But to his horror, the creature didn't flinch, didn't react. It was as if the bullets passed right through it. Everyone who saw the ghost ran from it. Everyone, that is, until two determined teenagers, Polk Blanton and Dave Minton, decided they would face the spectral beast themselves. So one Saturday night, loaded with their own bravery, or perhaps a bit of youthful recklessness, they picked a spot in the thick woods, sat along, and waited. After about 15 minutes, they heard a heavy sound behind them, like a wagon rolling over rocks. Then, as recounted in the Knoxville Tribune, the ghost appeared. The boys were startled, but instead of running, they watched the specter, started off in a trot down a dark hollow. When they caught sight of it again, it seemed to vanish into a sinkhole in the earth. The teenagers returned to town with an unbelievable explanation. The ghost was nothing more than a white bear.
Hmm.
Could there be albino bears? You know, but a white bear was almost as unbelievable as a ghost. While plenty of people had seen ghosts, few had ever heard a white bear in Tennessee. Despite the boy's story, many readers protested, insisting it was a sure enough ghost. Even some old-timers even claimed that the Middlebrook ghost had been visiting the area since the Civil War, changing color over the years from black to dark gray, and now finally pure white. Just 2 weeks after the sensational report of the white bear, the Knoxville Tribune ran a sad, short headline: "The ghost is gone." Suddenly, all talk of the Middlebrook beast stopped. It seemed that the residents, tired of the constant stream of curious tourists and amateur ghost hunters, had decided to keep any further sightings to themselves. If the beast, ghost, or bear returned, they kept it a secret, letting the legend fade into the quiet history of Middlebrook Pike. Yeah, Stephen. Yeah, you need to do some research on this.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Pretty good stuff.
So I think, is this the last one?
Last
Yes.
one. Ghosts and History of Old Gray Cemetery.
Yeah, Old Gray Cemetery is pretty, it's known. I know probably a lot of people have heard about it. It's pretty haunted. A lot of people have investigated it. But this here, it talks about the history of it and, you know, who could be haunting it. David's going to We might just get over a little over 35, 40 minutes, maybe.
Maybe.
But these are good stories.
Let some people start talking to us in the chat rooms, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every one of these stories are true stories from witnesses. And as you've seen, even the Knoxville Tribune back in the day wrote about it.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Ghost and History of Old Gray Cemetery. Now, Old Gray Cemetery, nestled in downtown Knoxville, is more than just a burial ground. It's a sprawling 13-acre outdoor museum of history and a quiet resting place for thousands of souls. Now, it was established in 1850 and named after the English poet Thomas Gray. Now, it embodies the rural cemetery movement of the 19th century. It's designed to be a serene park-like setting for both the living and the dead. Walk through its winding paths, and you'll encounter a remarkable collection of Victorian-era monuments, from grand obelisks to intricate statues of grieving angels and silent children. These stone tributes tell tales of prominent citizens, governors, senators, soldiers, artists, and activists who shaped Knoxville's past. Yet beneath the peaceful beauty and historical significance, whispers of the supernatural abound. For generations, stories of strange sightings have spun around Old Gray. Like many old cemeteries, it seems to hold on to more than just the physical remains of those buried there. Two particular spectral residents are often mentioned by locals and ghost hunters alike: the Lady in White and Black Aggie. Now, the legend of the Lady in White traces back to 1880s, primarily spread by teenage boys. This phantom is described as a pale female spirit, dressed in white, who silently wanders the grounds. She is said to be searching for something lost, perhaps a loved one or a piece of her past. Now, some believe the Lady in White is connected to Mary Crush or Annie Lowe, two women whose lives intertwined with the cemetery's history, through tragedy and through hardship. Her appearances were not confined to Old Gray. At times, she was reported to roam the nearby pine woods, perhaps continuing a journey she made frequently in life. Black Aggie, on the other hand, is a more ominous and widely known figure. This dark entity is described as a shadowed apparition, sometimes taking the shape of a man shrouded in a black mist or robe. Stories about Black Aggie intensified in the mid-20th century, particularly among high school students. Now, unlike the gentle Lady in White, Black Aggie is often portrayed as a more unsettling presence. Some claim this shadowy figure simply wanders aimlessly among the tombstones, observing visitors. Others, however, tell more chilling tales of a much more aggressive ghost. Now, there are accounts of Black Aggie appearing at dusk, watching from the shadows, and even chasing unwanted guests out of the cemetery. Visitors have reported a profound sense of unease, feeling as if they are constantly being watched. Some have heard their names whispered from unseen sources, only to turn and find no one is there. Now, the origin of Black Aggie is shrouded in mystery. Some speculate that this spirit haunts the grounds due to a desecrated tomb, though no definitive cause is known. Now, the general advice given to those who encounter this entity is to remain still and avoid drawing attention to oneself, lest you risk being chased off the property in terror. Now, beyond these two prominent ghosts, Old Gray Cemetery holds other echoes of its past. It is the resting place for both Union and Confederate veterans, reflecting Knoxville's divided loyalties during the Civil War. Figures like Union Patterson W.G. Brownlow and Confederate Colonel Henry Ashby lie within its bounds. Their stories of conflict now softened by eternal peace. One particularly notable grave marks the end of the infamous Mayberry O'Connor feud. On October 19th, 1882, Thomas O'Connor, Joseph Mayberry Sr., and Joseph Mayberry Jr. all died simultaneously in a dramatic downtown gunfight that made national news. Their shared death date on three separate grave markers is a reminder that violent days and perhaps their restless spirits linger near their final resting places. Another touching memorial is the statue of Lillian Gaines, a mournful little girl. Passerbys are often moved by her sorrowful depiction, sometimes leaving toys and flowers in her lap, as if to comfort her enduring sadness. While not explicably tied to a ghost story, her presence adds to the cemetery's poignant atmosphere. Old Gray Cemetery is a place where history and legend are intertwined. Now, whether you seek to explore its rich past, admire its beautiful funerary art, or perhaps even catch a glimpse of its spectral residents, it remains a uniquely captivating and somewhat eerie destination in Knoxville. It serves as a reminder that some stories and some spirits are never truly laid to rest. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. That performance was beautiful. So Steven says City Co's loaded with stuff, lots of Bigfoot encounters.
Yes.
The old man of the mountain.
We had a guy when we was at the place there in Loudon last year that
Yeah.
talked to us about his encounter in Cityco with a Bigfoot.
Yeah. Stories of the cryptid in Knox County in those early days sounds like the old legend of Slewfoot. Huh. Huh.
That's cool.
Yeah. Cindy says these stories remind me of the stories in the Telltale Lilac Bush and Coffin Hollow.
Ooh, that's interesting. Ah, I like it. What else have we heard? Baby girl says her ancestors are from Cityco.
Yeah.
Mine, no.
She said Cityco Graveyard or the creek. Need to investigate.
Well, we'll have to do that sometime. West Virginia ghost stories. Really?
Telltale Lilac Bush and Coffin Hollow.
Okay. Putting out cameras for deer. Y'all are welcome to come along. Hey,
We'll go if we
Yeah.
have, if it's the right time and date.
Yeah.
Just let
Yep.
us know when you're
Let
going to
us know.
go.
Yeah. We'll follow. I mean, we don't live too far away.
No. So
We used to go to Cityco all the time, but that was back when I was younger, and the days we stayed there, we were so slammered the whole time we were there. We wouldn't have known if we saw a bear or a fish jump out and start talking to us. None of it would have mattered. Carolina Hole in Cityco.
I hadn't heard of that.
Wasn't there a song out and dance known as the Slewfoot Rag? Huh, I don't know. That's interesting, Roy. Oh, is it? Yeah, we just live here in Loudon, so we're not that far at all.
Yeah, I live closer to it than David.
Yep.
But maybe I could get to Cityco in 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's probably 40 for me. 35, 40.
She says a woman named Carolina drowned there. Huh.
Wow. I did not know that.
No, it's a lot of interesting stuff.
I mean, there's a lot of Cherokee and stuff are all the way up and down through there,
Yeah.
So
Is that the place where the water runs out of a pipe on the side of the road? You can stop and get a drink, or is that Cherola Skyway? One of them, there's like a water
it's
hole.
been like the wife and I went up there, but it's been, man, it's been a while since we've been to City Co. But I think that's maybe up Cherahalla or something. Yeah.
So the Skyway, yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't remember it going out there.
I know we went last year camping over right before you get to City Co at that campground. It's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Well, we hope everybody's enjoyed the show.
Yep. That's
Uh,
awesome. Thank you for coming. Ball Play 360 has the Bowling Spring. Yes. Shell says we need to go again. Yes, we do. I mean, since City Co is so close, it's crazy that we don't go more often.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place. I used to go over there every year and go camping.
Yeah, I've been camping over once or twice.
Just go over there to campsite 6, I think it is.
We didn't have a campsite. You know, that first bridge to the left,
Thank you, Shell.
there's a bridge there right when you get into Cityco,
Mhm.
past the little Cityco store thing. That I don't know if it's still there, but there's a bridge that goes to the left, and right after you cross that bridge, there was a little dirt road that led right down beside the creek, and that's where we camped.
If we go all the way up, we'd pass the horse camping spots, keep going, and then we'd stop. And it was campsite 6, and it had the creek run behind the campsite, and it had been like rock stacked up, so it actually was pretty deep there. You could actually jump in. It was fun.
The Chilhowie Bridge, yeah.
Yep, we used to go there all the time, once every year. Party for a whole week.
Steven says the older campground that closed, you can still camp there, and a lot of Bigfoot encounters up the ridge from it. We call it Monkey Holler.
Well, doesn't have anything to do with Bigfoot.
It's another story.
But
Then there's the witch up there.
Wow.
I've heard of that.
The witch.
Oh,
I have not heard about the witch. Cross the bridge and it'll take you to Chilhowie Lake. Oh. Well, hopefully if we get to do some things that we want to do this summer, some of them will be up in the Great Smoky Mountains.
yeah.
Looking for some feral people, because we have some maps that were given
Some
to us
maps.
by some people who work there, work for the park services, and told us where we could probably find them. So, okay, it's not far from Jeffrey's Hill. Jeffrey's Hill would be a pretty awesome place to go to. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'd love to know that witch story.
Yeah.
That'd be neat. Overly overstoked Oscars. Hello.
Overly overstoked Oscars. What's with the name change?
Hello, hello, hello. Jefferson Hill is at Bald River. Okay. Yeah, we did a story one time on Jeffrey's Hill, did we not? Did we talk about it?
I'm not sure.
I thought we did. If not, then I've seen it somewhere else. Says I misspelled my new name. LOL. Jeffrey's Hill is at the top of Bald River Falls.
Well, I've been up there. Ain't that on the Skyway?
Hmm.
Yeah, that new thing they built.
Yeah, where they built the new bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been up to the top of the falls.
Last time we went, the wife and I went to the falls, I still had the Harley. Yes. Because we went up 68 all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really nice place to go. Supposed to be overly overstocked Oscars. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, the wife and I used to stop up there at the Ball River Falls. We haven't been there in a while either. They said it's supposed to be pretty nice with that new bridge there, though. Jeffers Hill is in City Co. off of Trail 105.
We got two different stories.
Well, I mean, but see, you could take City Co. goes all the way up.
Yeah.
If you take City Co. all the way up to the top, you get to Indian Boundary and all that right there. So they just finished the bridge. Yeah. Yeah, I have some friends of mine that's already gone up through there and taking pictures of themselves at the bridge.
Thank you, Cindy, for listening. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Cindy. And we're glad that you got your paranormal fix. We're glad that you was able to come here and get it. Now, this Saturday, we're going to have Paranormal Paul from Paranormal Among Us will be a guest, and it's going to be a fun conversation.
Yeah.
We got to meet him at the Bigfoot Festival in Townsend, Tennessee this year. And we went out to eat with all of them afterwards and had a great time. And try to catch their show as often as we can. It's most of his shows are at the exact same time our shows are. So it's hard to do.
Except for he's been lollygagging around Hawaii here recently.
Yeah, he's been up in Hawaii partying. Looks like. I don't blame him. I'd like to go to Hawaii and party too.
So we hope everybody enjoyed the show. And
again, we've got Paranormal Paul coming.
Yep, Saturday.
And then after Paranormal Paul, we don't have anything for the next one, right?
No.
But the next Saturday after that, we will not have a show because we're going to be on Paranormal Paul's show.
Right, but we'll still stream it to you guys.
What was that? Simulcast it.
Yeah.
So it won't be our show, but it'll be his show. There's a reason there's a bear reserve. Wow, really? I know we got a story from a guy when we was doing the one in downtown Loudon. What was that one? Do you remember? The one for Halloween last year?
I can't remember the name of the festival.
Anyway, we was doing it and a guy come up. That's one of the fun things about doing those kinds of things is people love telling you your stories and we love hearing them. You know, if you look at what's scrolling on the bottom, you know, please, we do like stories. But he told us a story that he was hunting up there. And when you come in to City Co and you go down a little ways, I guess there's a bridge that comes off and goes up off the main road. And he said that they would go across that bridge and then park and then walk a ways to go hunting. That's where they would, I think they were deer hunting up through there. And he said that they were tracked by Bigfoot and they saw it and it pretty much chased them almost back to their vehicle. And he said that he has not gone back since, nor would he. So that would be a good place for us to go.
Yeah.
Maybe try to do a nighttime investigation. That's into Fire Gap. Yeah. I know that I guess that bridge supposedly had washed out and then they had rebuilt it or something like that. But he said as soon as you go across the bridge, you'd go and then they would park. Then they'd walk up, you know, almost a mile maybe or something, he said, but that's where they'd go hunting. And he said there's Bigfoot back in there. There's Bigfoot in them there woods. And I mean, come on, that's pretty remote area.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people living back up and once you get up into City Co, there's nobody. So
I used to stay at a cabin up there from my neighbor had a cabin. Used to mow her yard, the yard up there, and it was all hill. Whew. But it was worth it. Got to stay in the cabin whenever I needed to or wanted to.
Really? That's cool. Stephen says, what was that? There's a place they called the Heaven Stairs that gets your very far back into there. Baby girl says the bridge that takes you across Mount Pleasant comes out in the at the Chilhowie Bridge.
Good to know. We have to go riding up there.
It's a quick ride for us. I mean, it's not that far.
No.
I mean, just go right down 72 and hit 411 and we're there. So either way, you go right and you can hit 68, left and, go into Cityco. So we want to thank everybody again. And we've got a lot of good shows lined up on Saturdays coming up. So, and remember the 27th, we will be at the Bigfoot conference in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, like we do every year.
July 27th.
This will be what is this? Our
fifth year.
Fifth or sixth? Fifth. So it's our 5th year going there, and it's a blast. And the people that are going to have there this year they're amazing. I mean, the lineup they've got this year is probably one of the best that they've had in a very long time. So I'm going to really enjoy being there this year. We enjoy it every year, but this year's going to be really fun. Not like we ever really get to listen to them talk, though. We're usually signing books and stuff.
Yeah. First year we did a little bit.
Yeah, we did.
We usually catch the end of the talks with
round
the round table.
Yeah. We're usually packed up by then and go and watch the round tables. So, but it's fun. So I would say if you can make it, it's definitely a place to go and it's a good time. So, and if so, you could see us there. Stop by the tent and say, hey, we'll have the big, huge black tent that says Paranormal 411 all over it. It's like 12, 14 foot tall. So you can see us for sure.
All right. Remember, join us this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. Paranormal Paul, Paranormal Among Us. It's going to be a great show. Remember, you can find us at paranormal411.org. What does he say, Stephen? Need to talk to Hellbent Holler. Oh, yeah. You know them? I've watched quite a bit of their stuff. I have. So you ready?
Yep.
So you can find us at paranormal411.org, Paranormal 411 on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. Tune in live every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern, from Saturdays 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. And remember, Saturday night from 10 to 11, if you're in the metro Atlanta area, you catch us on WDJY FM. That is 99.1 FM. Now, for listeners outside of Atlanta, you can still listen at WDJYFM.com, or you can click the link on our website at paranormal411.org. We're also on Subspace Radio and all major podcast platforms. We have a book out, East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore Edition 2. That is East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore Edition 2. It is available on Amazon or at paranormal411.org. Join us. Thank you for being part of the show tonight, and we hope to see you on Saturday night. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Have you ever wondered what lurks in the shadows? What secrets the night hides? What strange phenomena might be happening just beyond your perception? Join us as we journey into the world of the paranormal, exploring everything from ghosts and UFOs to cryptids and unexplained occurrences. From haunted houses to all things paranormal, join us in the search for the truth behind the veil. Welcome to Paranormal 411.